Fleetwood couldn't do was close. There was that ghost look in his face that we would see on TV on the back nine on Sundays when he put himself in contention. And he just went out there and he looked cool, calm, collected. Even the way that he finished, he just had this intense look in his eyes until that final putt went down, and he had that celebration that we've seen from so many golfers winning their first or winning a major championship where you just let it all out. And it was so fun to see Tommy Fleetwood have that moment because I think he's become one of the most beloved golfers on planet Earth. And I think there were so many people that wanted him to win. I think the celebration at East Lake was fitting. I think all of his European Ryder Cup teammates waiting for him on the backside of 18 says a lot about who he is, and I don't think you'll find a single person who said he wasn't deserving of this moment.
No, and I mean, is part of me a little upset that he figured it out now? Yeah, because I wanted some of those demons to, maybe translate over to the Ryder Cup too.
No. We want him to peak now. He's peaking.
Well, but that's again.
You don't want him to figure it out at Bethpage, Gabe.
Well, I feel like we talked about this again. He ends up finishing top 5 in all of the playoff events, which makes me have zero problem with him winning the season-long FedEx Cup. Because and again, I think this is probably a bigger problem that the PGA Tour has. Like, their playoffs aren't actually playoffs. But if you have somebody playing as well as Tommy has, top five, and then winning, like, that to me seems fitting. Like, that's okay. You winning the FedEx Cup makes a ton of sense to me because you are one of the hottest players in what the PGA Tour wants to be their playoffs, even though it's not a playoff. So I've got no issue with that whatsoever. And again, joking about him, not figuring it out now, because the thing that never made sense to me is he's closed out European Tour events, and not just like small ones here or there. Some of the bigger ones that are happening outside of the PGA Tour season, where a lot of big names, a lot of the Rory McIlroys and guys like that are there, and he ends up staving them off down the stretch.
Yeah,
it just clearly became such a mental thing for him, where I got to get this PGA Tour win, where it affected who he became on the golf course, and he is one of the most genuine people, I think, on tour. I think that's why everybody kind of gravitates towards him in terms of his peers and his Ryder Cup. I mean, obviously the European Ryder Cup team knows who he is personally, and they're all rooting for him. But it also felt like in a Ryder Cup year where things can get divisive this late and you're playing on U.S. soil, like, I can see somebody else rooting for Patrick Cantlay. I can see the crowd chanting USA as it has at previous events during the PGA Tour playoffs, but that's not what it was. Like, it seemed like, to a man, watching this, everybody at East Lake was rooting for Tommy Fleetwood to close this thing out because they knew how important it is to him. And again, I think of him doing the interview with his kid at the Masters and, just his kid talking about how he's trying his hardest.
Yeah.
Right? And that clip, I feel like, has made its rounds the 2 or 3 times that Tommy's come close to actually picking one of these things off throughout the course of the year. He's trying his hardest. It's the lesson he can learn from his kid. Everybody was rooting for this, to a man.
I think the thing that makes Tommy Fleetwood so likable is how he's handled losing with such grace, and his ability to compartmentalize what actually matters in this world. We heard that from him after he won on Sunday, when he was just reflecting on, the lesson that he would give his kids. It would be a good person. That's the most important thing. And that's who Tommy Fleetwood is. And I think that the more you listen to this guy talk, the more endearing he is to fans. And I think this is not...
And that was literally his message after the round, too.
Correct.
In terms of being a good person.
And this is not unique to golf. I think this is something that we see in professional sports and for many famous people, whatever walk of life they might be in. Like, the common person is always going to relate to people who fail more so than people who find success. And I think that there's something in the journey of failure that allows somebody like Tommy Fleetwood to be humanized a little bit. And he gets a support of people around him who want to see him find that success. How you define success is a whole different conversation. For us, on the outside, we define success for Tommy Fleetwood by winning a PGA Tour event, right? Like, we want that for him. We think that that's what he needs to get over the top. When you listen to Tommy Fleetwood after he just won $10 million and the Tour Championship, his success is his family. And the message that he wants to send to them, and not to them, to everybody around, about what is actually important in life. And I think that's what's made him so endearing along this journey of ultimately getting over the top. And I do think that there was a lot of truth to what he talked about in that failure of, I would rather be in that position and fail than not be in that position at all. And that, I think that's a really fascinating way to look at it, and it allowed him ultimately to put himself in that position a number of times this season. We're talking about a guy who had 12 top 3 finishes without a win before getting over the top here at East Lake. So you put yourself in that position, your hands start to feel a little different, your head starts to feel a little bit different, and ultimately he was able to get over the top. And I think that was just an awesome perspective throughout this PGA Tour season that we've gotten from Tommy Fleetwood, and the massive events that he's put himself in contention in this year has allowed us to kind of feel this celebration alongside of him. And that's what made me as a golf fan enjoy that moment so much, is that it did feel like a shared win, because Tommy told us this win was for all of us. It wasn't just for me. And like, he appreciates how people found his journey to be so fascinating and were able to latch on to that as well.
Because, again, you can see the talent that's there. And I heard this on the Knowing Laying Up podcast from friend of show, DJ Pyhowski. So in 164 events played, 31 top 5 finishes. And now that includes his PGA Tour win. But going into this event, 163 events played in his PGA Tour career, 30 top 5 finishes, which is insane without having a win. It's a lot of times on the PGA Tour, it's about putting yourself in that position to win, and then that's how you rack up a bunch of them. Because it's just the way that golf works. I think anybody who plays the game knows, you're not going to win every time that you tee it up unless you're Tiger Woods or Scottie Scheffler. But the key to them is they just consistently gave themselves the opportunity, and then they're able to pick off. Obviously, Tiger is in the 80s. Scottie has been doing what he's doing, back-to-back 5+ win seasons for him. So Tommy was doing all those things. He's putting himself in the position of being in the top 5, and for whatever reason, he wasn't able to close it out. And I think we saw why he wasn't able to close it out this year in particular, because I feel like that pressure was getting to him. But previously, it just didn't work out for whatever reason, because this is obviously somebody who can play under pressure. This is somebody who knows how to deal with that pressure. And honestly, now that he's picked off that one, like, the floodgates very well could open for Tommy Fleetwood. Like, yeah. I mean, he's going to be on the short list to win majors. He's going to be,
He's been there at majors.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason his nickname is Fairway Jesus. Like, he just plots his way around golf courses. There aren't many courses that are not course fits for Tommy Fleetwood, because he's so straight off the tee. He's one of the best iron players in the world. It's just, can he make those putts? And that's what he wasn't able to do on Sunday. He missed a lot of those putts. But this week, he gained 8 strokes over the field on the greens. That's how you win tournaments. And Tommy Fleetwood went out and did it. And I think we talk about putting himself in position. People talk about the 80+ wins for Tiger Woods. They don't talk about the 31 runner-ups.
Yeah.
And Jack Nicklaus, the number of wins he's had and the number of runner-ups. We don't talk about runner-ups, but you put yourself there enough, you're going to win. And that's what Tommy Fleetwood has done. And I agree with you, man. Like, I think the lid is off. Like, I can't imagine the weight that comes off in a situation like this. It's a different weight than what we saw Rory McIlroy have lifted off of his shoulders, because they're two very different golfers at different stages in their career with different expectations. But I'm excited for Tommy Fleetwood. I think that this is a guy that, the sport should really latch onto. It brings up a question I want to present to you, Gabe. I think we know who the top 2 most famous golfers in the world are right now, in Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy.
Okay.
Who's 3?
Whew. That is a really good question. Is it Bryce? I mean, okay, so if I'm putting together a short list for this, I think Bryson is on that short list. Obviously, because of the success that he's had, he's won a couple of majors, won the U.S. Open last year. His YouTube channel, I think, has made him obviously up there in terms of a recognizable face. Whew. I mean, so what are we talking about? Recognizable? What are we talking about? Are we talking about who the 3rd best player in the world is right now? Like, what am I trying to get to the bottom of?
That's fair. Let's
because
separate the two.
If we're talking about popularity, guys like JT and Spieth are going to be on that list. They're probably going to be on that list, even though Spieth was not very good this year, like probably ahead of Tommy Fleetwood.
So I think if we're talking popularity, I think it is Bryson DeChambeau, just with what he has built in the YouTube golf world. Let's go with who's the third best golfer in the world right now.
I mean, it's hard not to say Tommy Fleetwood, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's hard not to say him. Bryson certainly is on that short list.
Of course.
It just...
We don't get to see him often.
It's just so damn hard because with what LIV is, it's just... especially with the way like Phil thought he was bragging this week. I don't know if you saw any of those quotes from Phil Mickelson talking about how on the PGA Tour he used to be like nervous and anxious before events, and now he's a lot more relaxed on LIV.
Yeah, because he sucks.
Well, yeah, and the money's guaranteed, Phil. You're not playing for your living. Gosh. It turns out when it's an exhibition, the pressure's off, but we don't need to dive into that. So it's tough with Bryson. He answers the call more often than not at the major championships.
Yeah.
It seems like 3 out of 4 every year he's going to be a part of, and then one he just blows up and is going to miss a cut, like he did this year, like he did last year. But, I mean, I think the only two people that we're debating here in terms of who's number 3 behind Scotty and Rory right now in terms of the best golfers on the planet, we're talking about Tommy Fleetwood and Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, you could maybe convince me Jon Rahm is in that mix as well. Just
You can't do that to me.
No?
He
was the individual winner on LIV this year.
But I don't think he won once, did he?
He did not win once.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Just had a lot of good finishes.
I don't know how the point system works over there.
54 holes, whatever that
when you got somebody winning 5 times, like Neiman did over there, and somehow Rahm beats him out. I don't know how the points work over on LIV. I've never taken a headfirst dive into that. But Rahm has not been the same guy since he went there.
Yeah.
I feel like Jon Rahm has been living off of that reputation ever since he went. And who he was before he went over there was a fantastic player because we were debating Scotty or Rahm. Yeah, or even Brooks was a part of that conversation.
Rahm
at that
had
point.
a good major season this year. I know he didn't finish strong at the Open, but I mean...
He had an okay major season.
He kind of backdoored his way into a top 5 finish at Oakmont. He had I think a top 5 finish or top 10 at the PGA.
It was top 10 at the PGA.
He fell apart on the final round.
When you shoot 5 over on the last 3 holes.
Yeah. I mean, the only other person I was thinking about that might fall into number 3 is Russell Henley. Like, having a sneaky good golf season. It's not sexy.
It's not.
But Russell Henley is a guy who is golfing his ball this year and doing it in a really quiet way.
Yeah, but I don't think he has the major resume of Bryson or even Tommy. Because, like, Tommy plays well in the majors as well. You know, like, that's the thing.
Yeah, Russell missed a couple of cuts in majors this year.
So that would be, to me, that's the next step of the evolution of Russell Henley.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now you've kind of gotten here almost kind of the same way we used to talk about Max.
Yeah.
Where Max was able to really elevate his game.
We haven't talked about Max in a long time.
Yeah, it's just, it was a really rough year. Really rough year. I'm hoping he bounces back, but we always used to talk about Max of, okay, you've won a couple of times. You've won some pretty big events on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
You've made and had some pretty big moments in team competitions. Hopefully Russell Henley able to have a moment in the Ryder Cup this year. But for Max, it's like, okay, can you raise your game in the majors? And he did at the Masters a couple of years ago, played probably his best golf at the Masters this year.
Mm-hmm.
But for Russell Henley, that's the next step. Okay, you've done all these things. Now the next step for you is play well in the Masters.
Yeah,
play well in the majors. And I mean, Tommy had a solid major year this year. Nothing spectacular, nothing in the top 10, but he's got a handful of top 10s, top 5s already in major championships where his resume kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, and played well in the signature events this year. I mean, just for context, the official world golf ranking, it's Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy. Xander is still in there at 3, but he had a terrible year this year. Russell Henley is 4, Justin Thomas 5, Tommy Fleetwood is 6.
Justin Thomas is 5?
He's performed
I mean, I understand,
well.
but I think that's
Be
more
excited about that.
Well, I mean, I think it kind of Justin Thomas being number 5 in the world, obviously is a mixture of LIV guys not getting rankings because he probably wouldn't be. Because I think Bryson would be up there, maybe Rahm would be up there as well. I don't know. I mean, it's not a lot of guys. It's just a couple of guys. But also, I think it just kind of tells you how much Rory and Scotty. I mean, Scotty is even separated from Rory, but I think Rory is even separated
Without
from
question.
everybody else, even behind him. So it's like Scotty gap, Rory gap, and then it's just kind of this meaty. I don't know. I mean, keep going on the list. It's probably back to the top 10 where it kind of feels like it's they're all kind of the same guy right now.
I'm kind of surprised. JJ Spawn is behind Fleetwood at 7. I thought JJ would be a little bit higher, just given some of his finishes at big events this year.
Solo second at the Players, winning a major, but he was coming from so far behind.
Yeah, I'm equally as surprised that Colin Morikawa is still in the top 10. He's in there at number 8. Robert McIntyre had a good year. Mm-hmm. He's in there at 9, and then Harris English is in there at 10, and
even probably more sneaky than Henley.
Yeah.
In terms of the year that Harris English had this year.
Yeah, kind of interesting. I mean, it's a fascinating debate. Talking about the third best golfer on planet Earth right now. It's kind of like 3 through 10.
Yeah, it all kind of feels...
It's up for debate.
Yeah, it all kind of feels like the same guy almost.
Yeah.
They've had their varying levels. Because, I mean, JT won this year.
Yeah.
In a signature event. Tommy Fleetwood winning this year in the last event of the year. It's just, okay, who's hot right now? It's kind of the question.
It just shows how quickly things can change. I mean, at the PGA Championship, it was Scotty, Rory, and Xander going off together, and it was not even a doubt. Like, that was the top 3 in the world, and they were playing together. And now it's like, it's Scotty, Rory, and then kind of everybody else.
Well, it's just a bummer. It's a reminder of, unless you're Scotty Scheffler, apparently, how much injuries can affect you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, again, Xander should be a part of that conversation. The reason why he's still so far up there is because the World Golf Rankings is like a 2-year snapshot of what you are, and obviously they mean less the further away you get from the event. But he won 2 majors last year.
Yeah.
If we're looking at the last 8 majors, Scotty's got 3 of them.
Like, a lot of people would have debated that Xander had a better year than Scotty last year.
I did.
Scotty...
You
did.
I took that side of the debate.
Yeah,
I will stand by it because winning the majors is the most important thing, and he won 2 of those 4 last year.
I know we do this a lot on this program, like anybody else who has a golf show or loves the sport does, but I just have 2 more Scotty Scheffler stats that I have to put out there now that the PGA Tour season is complete.
Okay. Are you going to make either one of them the gem of the week?
Yeah, we can make it the
gem of the week. Brought to you by the Jewelry Center. Take a look at any one of their 3 locations, Greenfield, Brookfield, or in Burlington. ShopTJC.com is the website. Whatever you're looking for, that's where I got my engagement ring, my wedding band. If you're looking for watch repairs, if you're looking for watches, great thing. Stop by, say hi to Dean and the gang for me at the Jewelry Center.
We'll see if Scotty Scheffler can continue this streak at the Procore Championship coming up in Napa, where Team USA is going to apparently have a little warm-up event under Captain Keegan Bradley. But he has 21 consecutive rounds in the 60s. He's riding that streak, tying the longest streak in PGA Tour history.
I'm guessing he will break that streak in the positive. Like, he's going to break the record, is what I'm saying, at the Procore.
He also,
because it's not like going to Procore is like going to Oakmont.
Truly, yes. So yeah, imagine
Shinnecock Hills.
That'll get up to 25 when it's all said and done. And the second half of his season, we've documented it, but he finishes the final 14 events of the PGA Tour season inside the top 8.
His worst finish was T8.
In the final 14 events.
See, that's
the
difference. That's you're giving yourself opportunities to win. Speaking of Keegan, we're going to get to him in just a little bit, but we are presented by our friends at Majestic Oaks. LakeLawnResort.com is the website if you're looking to play a beautiful golf course, 2 miles of lakefront across the golf course. Look, Steven and I, we love the golf course. We played it. You've heard us talk about it. But the one thing I can't stop talking about is their family golf nights. Take advantage of those family golf nights where you get cart, golf, drinks, snack, under $15 a person. Cannot beat it. I dare you to beat it because you can't do it.
It does not exist. Beating that does not exist.
LakeLawnResort.com if you want to book your tee time today with Majestic Oaks. I was out there. I should have stopped up yesterday just to see what it was like. But I've stopped up a couple of times at X Golf inside American Family Field. If you're looking for great experience while you're at the ballpark, you don't need to book the tee time, but you can do it in advance. It is open to the public, but also take advantage. If you book a tee time, game day or not, and make a hole-in-one at X Golf inside of American Family Field, you get a couple of game tickets, and you and a friend get to go down Bernie Slide. If you make a hole-in-one, ace a hole while playing golf inside X Golf at American Family Field, and you will be able to go down Bernie's Slide. Find out more. Make your tee time today at X Golf inside American Family Field. All right, we're here, Steven. We've made it this far. It is decision time tomorrow for Keegan Bradley.
Oh, boy.
And you tell me if this sounds like a guy who is picking himself or not picking himself. And there's also more quotes we'll get to, but this was a quote that he gave this week at the Tour Championship.
It's a really strange thing to kind of ponder, making the picks and then thinking about picking yourself. It's like ridiculous. Like doesn't seem like reality sometimes, but we're going to do the best we can to make the right decision. And it's going to be controversial to certain people either way. Like I'm prepared for that. I am confident with whichever decision I make is for the betterment of the team, and we'll see.
Okay, so Keegan Bradley's on the team. So we have 5 spots left.
Before we even get to the quote that Todd Lewis had put out there earlier today from Keegan Bradley, or excuse me, earlier on Monday. It's not controversial if you don't pick yourself. It's literally the only way this becomes controversial is if you pick yourself. And for him, it's going to be controversial either way. No, controversy is not going to exist if you don't pick yourself.
It might be controversial in your mind that you don't pick yourself. But it's not controversial for us.
Now, he's this then from Todd Lewis. Speaking with Keegan Bradley, he said some members of the Ryder Cup team told him they want him to be a playing captain. He also said, quote, there's probably going to be a few guys that think they're going to be on the team that aren't going to be. He added that the phone calls will be, quote, awful.
Yeah.
Which I get. So I don't know if that's maybe Colin Morikawa. I don't know. I don't know who he's alluding to, but you're going to have to keep somebody off the team if you're picking yourself, if you're Keegan Bradley. But that's clearly talking like somebody who wants to pick himself. And honestly, I don't think this is a huge part of it, but I think factoring into a little bit, because he also pushed back on Rory this week, talking about being a playing captain. Well, how does he know? He's never done it. Okay. So I think, honestly, Rory saying that has made a couple of Americans, whether these are the ones telling Keegan Bradley they wanted to be the playing captain, I think it's made Keegan Bradley go, oh, you don't think I can do this? Watch this. I think that's factoring in.
And I think that's exactly what Rory wanted, like how he wanted him to respond. That's why Rory said it. This is the game,
and they're
man.
falling into the trap. How do you fall into the trap? Don't do it. Don't do it.
Ego's a wild thing, Gabe. All right, so we have 5 spots left.
I hate how it's not even a debate anymore.
No.
So when he announces tomorrow,
unbelievably shocked if tomorrow Keegan Bradley does not list himself as the 12th player.
Well, okay, so
he's
that's
not
the question.
going to come out, and he's like, if he's dragged us along for this long, we're not going to find out that the first captain's pick is Mr. Keegan Bradley.
So he's going to announce the 5. Just making the drama build and then eventually pick himself when he has the press conference or whatever
unless he
tomorrow.
happened to go, I'm just going to get the elephant out of the room. Yes, I have selected myself. That's probably what he should say. He should not be like, my first captain's pick is X. I think he should probably just be like, I know why you're here. I know what you want to hear from me. Here it is. I'm on the team or I'm not. And I think it's a pretty foregone conclusion. I texted you on Sunday watching East Lake and watching Keegan put himself in contention, and I said, this was the performance that allows him to justify the final move.
But I don't think it does, because now he's played well in a 30-man field. And by the way, not even well enough where,
the 30-man field thing doesn't bother me at all. We are talking about the 30 top-ranked players on the PGA Tour. I would tell you it's the same thing if he played well in a signature event. He's not going out there and placing top 10 at the 3M championship.
Well, but the problem is Like, he's probably going to have to leave off either Chris Gotterup, who he beat by one, who has been playing better than him. He's going to have to leave off Cameron Young, who played better than him this week, or Sam Burns, who played the same as him this week, but has been better ever since Keegan won at the Travelers. Like, that's my problem is, okay, yeah, this was only a 30-man field, but the other three guys we're talking about, of one potentially being left off, he didn't beat any. I mean, he beat one by one, and that's not beating one guy by one stroke in this field doesn't make up for the 2 months of bad golf.
I think we have to separate these two things. Keegan needed to play well for himself.
Sure.
Right? I don't think we joked about maybe it was like whoever finishes best among the four of us is in. I don't think it was that at all. Like I think that Keegan needed to go out there and have a better result than what he had since the Travelers that he won, because he did not play good golf down the stretch. He, pretty much didn't even exist at the BMW Championship, but he was within the top 30, so he was automatically going to be in East Lake. So he had to go out there and have a good performance. He had a good performance in Atlanta. That was the final straw of like, okay, I'm back to form enough to tell you that I am amongst the best 12 on this team. I have enough people on this team who feel the same way, and I'm going to go ahead and move forward with this.
We need to name names. I want to know. I want to know the guys who are telling him that he should be the playing captain.
Well, that's a fair argument otherwise.
We
joked about it was Cantlay and Ricky Fowler who were the only two who said it publicly, two guys that are fighting for spots on this team.
Yeah.
I think it is going to come down to two names, in my opinion, of who is going to get that final spot. Colin Morikawa and Sam Burns.
I would take Burns.
I would take Burns as well. I am so out on Colin Morikawa.
This is what I said last week.
I agreed with you, but I don't think they will make that decision because Burns got a shot at the Ryder Cup. He had a losing record, like most did in Rome, but he didn't go out there and have the Ryder Cup that we saw from Max, or even one that gave us any hope of like, okay, he can perform on the big stage. It's not like
JT was carrying around Spieth's corpse at that point too, because Spieth did not play well, and that kind of reflected poorly on JT.
Colin,
but I guess
he's played a home, he's played a road. I still think that paired with the right person, there's a belief that Colin Morikawa has the experience to get it done. I don't believe that. But I think that Colin Morikawa will be on this team, whether you like it or not. And it's going to come down to, is it going to be Sam Burns or is it going to be Colin Morikawa? Do you go with a guy who's playing better with less Ryder Cup experience or somebody who has struggled with more Ryder Cup experience? And that's where pairings and analytics and all that come into play, fit within the roster. I think ultimately it's a boys' club, and I think that Colin is in that mix. And I think that he's going to end up getting that spot over Sam Burns.
I guess maybe I just became too hopeful when I saw the Todd Lewis report of there's probably going to be a few guys that think they're going to be on the team that aren't going to be.
Yeah,
I guess when I hear that, like the only name that comes to mind of somebody who would be not on the bubble, because again, you've got your 6 automatic qualifiers, and then after that,
well,
JT seems pretty safe.
So JT is 7th.
Yep.
Morikawa is 8th. Ben Griffin is 9th. Maverick McNeely has moved up to 10th. Keegan has sat at 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Harman is up there at 12th. Andrew Novak is 13th. And then you have Cameron Young, Patrick Cantlay, Sam Burns. That's your top 16. There is no other name behind that. You want to argue Gotterup? Sure. He's in there at 20th. I don't think he has a chance of making this team because he has not played good enough golf in the United States to earn a spot. He has 0 Ryder Cup experience. They will already have enough rookies on this roster. Gotterup's out. So I think when he's alluding to there will be people who will be surprised, I think it's going to be a Maverick McNeely, a guy who feels like I am in there at 10th. I've had a steady enough golf season.
But I just feel like the career of Mav McNeely, I can't imagine he's sitting there today knowing that these calls are coming, or maybe the calls already happened. Who knows when these calls actually happen versus when, because we'll find out publicly tomorrow.
Netflix producers.
Yeah. So I can't imagine Mav McNeely is sitting there today going, oh yeah, I'm on this team. I think he's hopeful, right? So, because again, like the quote, and maybe I'm just reading too much into Keegan.
Probably.
Few guys that think they're going to be on the team that aren't going to be. Like, it just seems like to me that after Justin Thomas and Colin Morikawa, like after those two, the last 4 spots are kind of up for grabs with a number of different people. So
I think Ben Griffin's 100% on this team.
Okay. Just got to keep the creatine away from him.
Yeah, probably just,
Make sure he's got some water if he's going to be, doing
maybe
the
buy him a
creatine.
new box. Of creatine, make sure
So
that powder isn't clumped.
So it doesn't clump together like a snowball. But like other than JT and Colin Morikawa, I feel like
I think Patrick Cantlay is also on this team. 100%.
But the way that quote reads to me, it seems like somebody who 100% thinks they're on the team is not going to be on the team. And that to me is Colin Morikawa.
Do you remember how much, crap we gave Jim Furyk for just going chalk? 7 through 12 for the President's Cup team? I think that's what Keegan's alluding to right there. Like, you're not safe if you're inside the top 12.
Okay, which again, I think is very fair.
Yeah.
I think is fair. Because again, Brian Harman sitting there at 12. And I can't imagine Brian Harman, just based on golf course fit, is ultimately going to be a part of this team.
No, I would hope Brian Harman, despite being on the last Ryder Cup team, has a little more awareness of, you ain't it.
If it was a different golf course, you could talk me into Brian Harman because I really liked the way that him and Max played together.
We really like the way Max played.
Yeah, but I also I enjoy the mentality of Harman, and I think that fits at a Ryder Cup. Just not at one where you have to hit the ball far because now you're asking a lot from him in the venue in which they're playing this year.
Has your opinion at all changed on Keegan picking himself?
I agree with Rory. I think it's too difficult of a task. I think you're better off. Why half-ass 2 things? Why not whole-ass 1 thing? So it goes back to the conversation we had months ago.
Yeah.
And I understand
it's his last chance probably to play.
Yep.
And I think that's what it's going to come down to more
And I
than anything.
completely get that.
Yeah.
But if that's what is factoring into his decision, and honestly, like I'm not blaming him for that factoring into his decision because he's human, and how could it not, right? How could that not cross your mind? But the fact that it does cross your mind makes me call BS on his I'm going to do what's ever best for the team.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of him that wants to do what's best for Keegan.
Of course.
And again, I understand that, but I also don't think he should be in this position of having to choose what's best for the team or what's best for me. That's a tough spot to put him in, and I just wish he would have stuck to his original, if I qualify for the team, I'll play. If not, I'm probably not going to pick myself. But ever since then, it's devolved into, if a couple of guys really want me to, if I'm playing well enough, to the point where now it just seems like it's a foregone conclusion.
The lack of transparency with the magnitude of this decision, I think is what makes me the most stressed about this situation. Because it was always my concern that win or lose, this Ryder Cup is about Keegan Bradley. If he wins, he's the first to do it since Palmer in 63. If he loses, what were we thinking here?
Yeah. Maybe if he went to picked himself. Like again, there's more what ifs to throw out there.
The media landscape is going to eat both sides of that, depending on what the outcome is. I do think he's one of the top 12 players, but I do think that he should have given up his captaincy. He's among
a group that can be in the top 12. Because kind of like we were just talking about how, in the terms of the top 10 players in the world, it's Scotty's 1, Rory's 2. I feel like there's a grouping right now that turns out there's more depth on this team than we thought because you can actually debate over these last handful of spots. Like if Keegan I can't say Keegan's definitively one of the 12 best Americans, right? I think he's in a group of 15 guys that you can pick from that I think you're going to feel pretty good about.
I think
and when the difference is that negligible, like defer to the other guy, do your job as the captain.
I would have Keegan right now as player number 10 in my own head of Ryder Cup. I would have JT would sit there at 7. I think the season that Ben Griffin has had would put him at 8.
Yep.
And then I think the experience that Patrick Cantlay has in adversity would put him at 9, and I would put Keegan at 10.
I've got Cameron Young ahead of him. Like Cameron Young just has so much more talent than Keegan,
Yeah,
and
of
we're
course,
starting.
he has
and we're
talent, but
starting. And we're
does he
starting
have-
to see it come together.
But does he have grit? That's where I wonder about at Cameron. I love the way he's trending. He's on my team. I think he's 100% of a lock, and he should be, especially growing up an hour and a half away from Bethpage in Scarborough, New York. Like, this is a no-brainer. He won the 2017 State Open at Bethpage Black.
Yeah.
Like, put Cameron Young on the team. But I still think that there's something to experience with this event. And there's a reason why Europe has had guys who have not had great seasons that have thrived in that event. And I think Keegan paired with the right person is a plus for Team USA.
I don't know if experience 12 years ago matters. Because that's his last experience.
Experience and care. You know what I mean? Like what it means to him.
Yeah, and I think this means just as much to Cameron Young. We just don't know about it because Keegan's the captain and he gets all the media time.
Yeah, but
Like, I think
he knows what it's like to stand on the first tee at a Ryder Cup.
Sure.
And hit that shot. Like, we don't know if Cameron Young has that.
Yeah, but I mean,
in
drawing
him.
on something that happened to you 13 years ago. Yeah, I guess that's experience, but I don't know if that's. Like, I'm not factoring because the last time he played in a Ryder Cup was 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's
Glen Eagle, right?
Yeah, that's so long ago. That's forever ago. Or no, was that 14? Was 14 Glen Eagle?
14.
Yeah, 14. I apologize.
Yeah. It was even then.
Playing for
now it's
quite
odds.
possibly, playing for possibly one of the worst captains of all time. But so still, that's 11 years ago. I think my point stands that when something that happened over a decade ago, like I don't know if that experience really counts. I don't know how much you're drawing on that because it's such a distant memory at this point. You know, it's not recent. Like he's a completely different player than he was at that time.
Yeah, but I think the intensity goes a long way with Keegan.
Okay. We have once again blown up clocks, all because of the Ryder Cup. We find out decisions tomorrow. We're probably still going to talk about this coming up next, but I do want to tell you about
It was a good season, Sam Burns.
the
We'll see you next
Bog
week.
Golf Course. Book your next tee time. Beautiful golf course. We love it out there. Hosts the ESPN Milwaukee Open. Also host of the Ringer event that Steven and I play each and every year. If you're looking for a challenging but fun, unique, different golf experience, head over to golfthebog.com. I keep doing it, and I want to keep doing it. I just have to shout out our crew at the Wisconsin Country Club for getting the golf course in such tremendous shape, despite the flooding and everything that happened with a lot of different places. But our golf course, a lot of golf courses felt the brunt of it as well, and our crew got the golf course together so incredibly quick.
Yeah, okay, I got a quick story for you, and I want to know what you would do in this situation because I went out and played at Wisconsin Country Club this past week. And I had one of those rounds that I haven't had since like my mid-20s where I go out there and I play as a single and I put, the AirPods in and I listen to a podcast or listen to music and I play in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Like I haven't had that in a long time.
Good for you.
It was so fun. It was
Again, by the way, join WisconsinCountryClub.com. These are the benefits of joining a country club like Steven and I have.
And so you know what's going to happen when you creep up on a group, Gabe? Mm-hmm. And everybody was very kind. I was a single, and I try to always be respectful when I'm a single. Like, I'm going to play faster. I don't want to, if the course is busy, I'm not going to play through. I'm not that guy. But if
so
there's
do you?
a
How do
big
you handle
opening,
that situation? Do you come up on them to let kind of, hey, I'm back here, and then if they don't really notice, then you kind of back off, maybe play a second ball, do some chip and putts.
I'll give 2 holes.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm going to be on you
Yep.
for 2 holes, and if you allow me, that's the right thing to do when there's nobody in front of you. If you don't, I will play 2 balls. I usually, as a single, will play 2 balls anyway, just to keep it interesting and just get more reps. But, hey, this group in front of me had great awareness. They had nobody in front of them. It was on the tee box at 4. They saw me right on 3 green as they were teeing off and didn't say something then, but then waved me through in the middle of 5. So I hit my tee shot. And every single time.
Oh, no.
You're playing well, you go up, and they tell you to play through. I'm playing the tips.
Oh, no.
And what do? You just blast a ball right.
I guess that's better than topping it?
Oh, yeah. But you just laugh, and you're like, this is what happens when you play through, right?
Well, because you're not going through your routine because you want to speed it up a little bit.
I'm
because,
running down the fairway, kind of quick off the green to get to the tee box because they're like, we're going to hit our tee shots and you just play through, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I stand up on the box and like, oh, look at this guy playing the tips. And, I'm playing pretty well at this point, and I just blast the ball right, and I just start laughing. And that's all you can do in that situation because it delivers every single time when you're trying to play through. You're not hitting a good tee shot.
No, you're not. But again, these are the things you can do. Wisconsin Country Club joined today at wisconsincountryclub.com, just a fairway away. No food and beverage minimums, no assessments, just the beautiful golf course and other amenities that we have. I'm jealous of you, man. I've been trying to figure out some time to get out, just period play as a single, haven't been able to do it. I may have to try to carve out some time this week, even if it's just 9 holes. There are very few things like playing as a single that's tough to beat.
Yeah, when you're just kind of grooving, you're playing at your own pace, it's like my true stress reliever. I always play well, too, because you're not thinking.
Well, I'm going through, personally, some driver issues right now. Like, I can stripe it on the range. And I was playing with some friends, one of which is a golf pro, who mentioned something to me after I played on Friday with him, that he thinks I'm taking it too far outside and kind of picking it up quick. Okay. But, again, on the range, I'm not doing that. So maybe a round as a single on the golf course, it gives you an opportunity. Oh, I didn't hit that one. I'll hit another one. Just kind of.
It's also a fun way to stay engaged when you play with 2 balls and you play it as a match and you play it straight up. Like if you are OB, you're OB, and you're hitting on the tee box. And you'd be amazed at how similar your scores are going to be with 2 golf balls.
Okay. Let's keep that in mind.
It's just like a nice way to kill time, especially if you're a single and it's a slow day on the course. It keeps you engaged in a different way.
Who won your match?
Titleist 2.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Steven has a question for me on our one call. That's all. We'll do that coming up next on the tee. Next week is the week, Steven. It is happening. I got the hoodie on today.
Oh, boy.
Next week, Erin Hills on the tee. Usually it's earlier in the year. It ended up being later in the year with the U.S. Women's Open out there, but you can play out there as well. ErinHills.com is how you book it today. Top 10 course in the country in terms of public play, according to Golf Digest. They've been around for a couple of years. Maybe you've heard of them. They know what they're doing, and so they know what they're doing at Erin Hills. The hospitality, the fescue rescues, it's
the cookie, on. The chicken salad, the brat at the turn. You can't go wrong.
We don't have enough show to run through all the great things at Erin Hills.
We will next week.
Yeah, we will, because it's going to be a show dedicated to Erin Hills. Book your tee time today for 2026 play. ErinHills.com. All right, Steven, time for our Gruber Law offices. One call. That's all. Milwaukee's own Gruber Law offices. What do we have this week?
Okay, so this is going to be a little trivia for you.
Okay.
You know I love my Nuggets, and I was looking at the official World Golf Rankings, and I saw a tweet from Justin Ray regards to the best player in the official World Golf Rankings, so the highest ranked player without a PGA Tour win is...
highest ranked player without a PGA Tour win.
It was, of course, Tommy Fleetwood before.
Well, but I mean, because he was in the top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, is there like a European Tour guy that's up there that maybe hasn't picked one off yet? Like a Højgaard? Maybe Alex Noren, who just won on the DP World Tour?
Oh, he has a PGA Tour win.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Years ago.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
My apologies to Alex Noren and his family. I don't want that to be out there. I mean, it's got to be a European player, right?
No.
It's not. It's American. I have no idea.
He should have had one, and he melted down earlier this year. Do you want me to tell you the tournament?
Yeah.
It was the Rocket Classic.
Okay. Why am I forgetting?
Actually, I'm sorry. I'm wrong.
What?
Alex Noren is higher ranked than this player. And Alex Noren does not have a win.
That's what I'm talking about.
So Gabe wins. I lose my own trivia question.
You had the answer. How did this happen?
Maybe the highest ranked American?
Maybe it changed recently. Because, again, literally Alex Noren won on Sunday. So it could have changed just this week. So, like, if you looked it up this weekend, maybe Noren was behind this guy.
Yeah, that might have been exactly what happened.
Okay.
So we'll play the game.
Win.
Highest ranked American
without a win. Okay, who is it?
Max Grazerman.
Oh, okay. I think he's going to win. He's gotten close a couple of different times. I mean, he played well last year at the Wyndham.
It's exactly what happened, by the way, the situation you just laid out, because
Yeah.
he fell down to 41st. He was ranked 40th when I looked this up
Okay.
to confirm.
What I think just happened. Okay. There we go.
Wow. Do your research.
But you did do the research.
Good trivia question. Sorry, Gruber Law Offices.
We are looking forward to it next week. Again, we are going to be out at Erin Hills. We're going to get to play the golf course and then talk all about it. Hope you join us again. We're going to have some beautiful views that we'll put out on our YouTube page as well. That's all.